How's your coffee? Today, my fiance Boog and I put up our Christmas decorations, and each year we do this, I'm reminded of my father. In 2002, I lost my dad to cancer, and my dad and I didn't really get along that well. We kind of argued and fought and just disagreed in general quite often. Could have been that whole teenage angst thing or teenage defiance, not trying to follow the rules. I also think a lot of it had to do with I just fundamentally don't think that we saw eye to eye on life and how mine should be structured in general. However, when you lose a parent, you do a lot of processing, and I started remembering only the good things about our relationship. All the negative went out the window. When I was about 7 years old, my parents got back together. When I was 8, they had my little brother. And in that time, my older brother and sister also moved in with us. So I went from just me and my mom to all of a sudden having 3 siblings and 2 parents, which is quite a change in such a fast, short amount of time. From 7 to 17, I only had my dad for 10 years, in my life on a daily basis. And in that time, he used to do some really awesome things, which left all those great memories when we did lose him. One of the things was I was able to skip school. At the time, my dad was a delivery truck driver, so he would deliver appliances back in the day for Sears. I'm not even sure if that's still a thing, but he would go hop in the truck, deliver washing machines, dryers, dishwashers, maybe, all kinds of like household appliances from the Sears catalog or Sears in store. And again, this was quite a while ago. And so I was able to skip school, hop in the truck with him, and just go to work with dad. And that was always a great time. Back then, everyone didn't have a cell phone. So my dad had like this cell phone that would plug into the cigarette lighter, and it came in this like leather pouch. And it wasn't like the big antenna like satellite phones that you see from like the 80s and the 90s, but it was like the old school, mid 90s car phones, when we used to call them car phones. As expensive as they were, from time to time I got to call mom and be like, "Hey mom, I'm calling from dad's truck." So that was always a blast to be able to go on, what amounts to a field trip from time to time. And I've always cherished those memories. He also used to do trivia, and my dad was big on knowing history in general, but also Black history, so that didn't get lost being in a mixed race family. He wanted to make sure that we knew both sides. So if I was ever to answer the trivia question correctly, I would get all of the change in his pocket. And as a kid, change is everything. You put enough nickels and dimes and quarters together, you'll be able to buy that new toy that you wanted at Walmart or whatnot. Also, during like summers and stuff, part of it was part of the trivia, but other things I think was his pride. He wanted to make sure that I had that best super soaker every summer. So I was always top tier. And then one of the things that I have as an adult been trying so hard to recreate was my dad's chili recipe. My dad made the best chili, hands down, I have ever had in my life. And I have tried and tried and tried to recreate his recipe, and I just can't do it. I'm having a lot of fun trying to recreate his recipe, and each time I do, obviously, the memories of my father come back, and I always enjoy that. The reason I mention we put up the Christmas decorations is my favorite memory of all time happened during the Christmas season. Every Christmas, my dad would sing along to, or just sing by himself, the Christmas song by Nat King Cole. My dad had a soulful, deep, old school black guy voice. He used to use it to his advantage. Women loved his voice, and so he would use his voice to like call the ladies at the like electric company and be like, hey ladies, I'm Blackstin's dad, and I'm gonna need a couple extra days on that bill. Do you mind giving me a couple extra days, ladies? And they'd give it to him. He used to get free coffee. He used to get discounts just because of the man's voice. But by no means could the guy sing. He could not hold a tune. But every Christmas, you knew it was a Christmas season. You knew it was Christmas time. Because all of a sudden you'd hear Dad, chestnuts roasting on an open fire. That's really how our household knew. It was Christmas time. It was time to get the house ready, put up the tree, and just be a family and just be together and enjoy it. One of the times that like really sticks in my head that happened was mid 90s or something. Well, probably like 93-ish, 92, 93. My little brother was still a baby. We had gotten like a home video camera. If you know 90s home video cameras, like they were huge. If you see like the news camera guys today with the big cameras on their shoulders and whatnot, those were home cameras back then. So we had one of those. I'm not sure if we borrowed it or what. Pretty sure we didn't own it because we didn't have much. But I remember my dad holding that thing and recording like what was going on Christmas Day probably, and he's just singing the Christmas song while recording. So you can't hear anybody else. You just hear his voice and you get to see everybody. That's just how it was. You know, hearing that song, again, you knew it was the Christmas season. And, you know, while we didn't have much, you know, we grew up pretty poor, my mom and dad made sure that we always had something under the tree. I can say that I and my siblings were pretty lucky because, you know, they went out of their way to try to give us the best that they could. So now today, as an adult, in hindsight, whether I got along with my father or not, he was just trying to do the best he could. Even though we didn't agree, he thought he was doing the right thing. And most likely trying to prepare me for adulthood. Which every parent is, whether you, as a child, agree with it or not. A lot of people in their teenage years do not want to listen to their parents' advice. Now I get to play that song and cherish those moments with my dad, the good and the bad, but mostly the good. And I get to share them with Boog and the little family that we've started with, you know, our dog Finn. Really do cherish those moments, and it's always nice to know that I will always have that memory of my father every time that song comes on. I hear his voice and not Nat King Cole. Well, that's episode 2, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Again, if you have any suggestions, if you have any comments, make sure you leave them on the YouTube video or in the review for the podcast. Also, you can check out the Discord. And I'll see you guys in episode 3. Enjoy your season with your family, no matter what holiday you celebrate during. See you guys next time. Enjoy your coffee.